And welcome one and all. We are the Creedence and Bishop Show here with you live on a special Tuesday. Tuesday edition for an interview that I'm very excited about. And I want to tell you how this came about real quick before we say hello to the other dudes. We had on a lady talking Bigfoot, and it was a great interview. And she told us all about this Dogman. Mikey, did I get that correct?
Yes, we were discussing Bigfoot when she brought up the fact that she knew Bigfoot and Dogman were in cahoots.
Mm-hmm.
And we said, who is Dogman? She said, never heard of him. You don't know who Dogman is? And I felt very stupid for not knowing who Dogman was. Well, after doing a little digging and hearing some of the most horrifying stories I could ever repeat to myself while I'm trying to go to sleep at night, we found out Dogman is this creature that apparently, from what she says, is even more dangerous than Bigfoot.
Well, when we had her on, she's from the Hudson Valley. We were talking about Bigfoot in the Hudson Valley of New York, and she explained to us, yes, that Dogman is in that area, and that he is even more dangerous than the different, I like to call it tribes, if you will, of Bigfoot, and that they are kind of in cahoots. So, maybe other people's stories will differ, but I'm terrified that there is a Dogman, half dog, half man. I don't know if it's half dog, half man. It seems like it's a bit of a werewolf, but I don't know, Mikey. What do you think?
There seems to be a little bit of differing on that. So I know what you're saying. It seems like from some sources, it's almost like a werewolf. From other sources, it seems like it was maybe a government manufactured beast that has escaped into the wild.
Right. Love that one.
So, I mean, all I know is they say Dogman is dangerous. And
all right,
we have to be here to help the public as best possible.
And who do we have on tonight? It's the North American Dogman Project. Is that correct?
Yes, North American Dogman Project. We're going to have them on tonight. And, I could sit here all day and come up with ideas and say what I think. But if you haven't done the research, if you're not a part of in the know and really getting there, putting boots on the ground, you don't deserve to say really anything, because you're just conjecture at that point.
Before we jump into that, something real quick. So whenever we do anything, we have to send out links so that we can all get together on here. And it's usually, so let's say 8:30, and Bish, am I right? 8:30, normally 8:20 would be the link sent, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Right around there. 8:15, what's up, dude? From Mikey. Yeah. 8:17, what was it? 8:17, you almost ready?
Yeah.
Link sent at 8:19. Jesus.
I'm pretty excited about this interview. I mean, we do a lot of interviews, but this is the kind of thing that I really have a strong interest in. I mean, not saying that the other interviews we do aren't important, but I feel like this one has an importance that is far-ranging.
Well, we've got JOEDY. If you're ready, give us a thumbs up. We'll bring you on. Awesome. Well, let's jump over and do that. There he is. How are you?
Uh-oh.
Hello, JOEDY.
JOEDY, you there?
Uh-oh.
Maybe you don't have. Well, he just muted himself. Try to unmute. There we go.
And
and we
still nothing.
Still can't hear him.
Ruh-roh.
Uh-oh.
Do we know sign language? I'm not good at that.
No.
American Sign Language?
I only know a couple of things.
I know European Sign Language, unfortunately.
Sage, as always, thank you, buddy. We appreciate that.
Maybe we need to let JOEDY pop in the back real quick and work on that real fast and see if we can get his audio working.
Yeah, try and figure that out.
Let JOEDY
I'm not good with that.
Let him hop back there real quick.
Possibly if he signs out and signs back in, but if he has maybe some headphones in, that might help. That seems to help from time to time.
That's entirely possible. Mikey, if you need to send some messages and stuff, you feel free. Bish and I are going to talk about the latest and greatest thing from your governor in North Carolina, now from 25 down to 10. I mean, think about this. You're
25
not
down to 10.
Yeah, 25 people down to 10 now, gatherings inside of your own home. So now, as far as Thanksgiving goes, I hope that you have a family of less than 10.
Oh,
So
well.
Good luck with that.
I like less than 10 members of my family, so that's...
Well, good point, but let's be honest. There's a lot of other people that like a lot more than that. I mean, yeah, no, I agree. It would be nice to keep it at 10, but...
Was that from today? I take
it was.
Did he give you a call?
Well, what I'm worried about... No, what I'm...
Run this by you real quick.
What I'm worried about is one thing that I'm worried about is Carowinds is getting ready to open up here on the 20th, I think it is.
Are they?
We had to go through these huge. You have to make reservations. It's only open until tomorrow. You can't even buy a ticket to this event. It's only weekends through. Well, I guess just a few. I think it's like 12 weeks. But we got our tickets, or our reservations. We already got tickets because we're. But are you ready?
Yeah.
You just tell me when you're ready to pop him up, or Mikey, you can do that whenever.
All right.
But I'm kind of worried. Ready. I'm kind of worried to see what happens with that, because that's going to be an issue potentially. If it starts going back on stuff already.
Well, I mean, but Carowinds is not in your home, correct? So then, or
Carowinds does business. No, absolutely.
So,
I was going to say
then you'll be fine.
Yeah, well, good point. Potentially. We'll see, though, if he starts rolling out even more or not. Well,
all right, let's test that mic. How's it sound?
It sounds not good.
Still
nothing. Oh, Lord.
What I'm going to have him do is go back out completely and then come back in. And when you come back in, test your mic, make sure that it's picking it up, and then just come back in.
Yep, I would try that. That's probably the best.
Happens to the best of us, yeah.
Oh, yeah. That happens all the time.
There we go.
But, yeah, what I'm worried about is if old Roy starts nailing off even more things, So we'll see. It's just everybody got real happy because they're doing a tasting event, kind of like, and Mikey, you've seen this a million times watching YouTube.
Oh, my gosh.
Where, you have the little tasting stuff. This one.
You can't go?
Well, no, we can. Yeah, we're going opening day. The minute that they open, we will be there. We were lucky. It was supposed to be starting at 7 a.m. on the 9th. You were supposed to, as a gold annual pass holder, you were supposed to, at 7 a.m., be able to. And I said to Emily, I am going to try my best to stay up past midnight just to see if it goes live. And sure enough, it did. So I had to wake her up because you can only make one reservation per card. So I had to wake her up for the week after to make the reservation so that we could get 2 weeks in at least. But yeah, we'll be there for opening day. Hopefully, if everything goes right, we're going to figure out how to get like really close to being some of the first getting in.
This is what I need you to do.
Sorry that a global pandemic is ruining your Carowinds experience.
This is what I need you to do.
Yeah.
Don't go live.
Mm-hmm.
Have the fiance shoot you talking about the food, you eating and things like that. Send me all the raw footage. I'll put together a nice little video.
Oh, that sounds like a nightmare.
And it'll look so good.
It sounds like a nightmare.
Does my video look any better today, Bishop?
Yeah, a little bit.
Right now,
the minute that we went live, your video just crapped out. So I don't know.
But now it looks good. Yeah, now it looks good.
Yeah.
So you are upset that there's a pandemic going on and that the tasting, which I take it that you. Well, what are you tasting? What are you tasting?
At theme parks.
Yes.
Epcot specifically, I would imagine, is one of the first that did that. Is they put up a lot of portable buildings all the way around the WADA, and each one has a
different country.
This one I think is going to be, this one's going to be a little bit different. But and I know Busch Gardens does a good one too. But basically, you go up to these food joints and they have a theme and then things that you can get from that, and you can order them a la carte for a lot. Or you can get a tasting card at a discount, basically, which is still kind of expensive. But you get to try a bunch of stuff. They put out the menu and stuff. It looks pretty good. But I think that's going to be fun, and it's going to be nice to get into the park. Probably won't ride any rides because I have a feeling it's going to be. I don't know if it's going to be super busy or if it's going to be.
It will not be super busy.
I mean,
simply because
30%. No, you don't
restricting how many people can come into the park.
However, you don't realize that's kind of like thinking about the restricting a Walmart, and they can put 10,000 people in a Walmart, and do you know what I mean? So we'll see. We'll see how that works. I think it's 30% capacity. Everything has to be done on North Carolina side of things because they're in North Carolina, even though it's North Carolina and South Carolina. Well, did that work?
Yeah.
There we go. All right.
All right.
Here we go.
Figured it out. Perfect.
Yeah. Ingenuity.
Awesome.
If you move that mic just a little bit closer to your mouth, I think it'll sound a lot better. There we go.
How's that?
Yep,
Much
perfect.
Much better.
We are good. Well, thank you so much for coming on.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, this is a very interesting subject that we knew absolutely nothing about until about, what do you say, a month ago? We learned about Dogman. Mm-hmm. And, I mean, I've always known about Bigfoot. That's like one of those things that you've heard through, storytelling and things like that. But Dogman seems to be something new. Is this relatively new, or are we just out of the loop so much?
It basically shot up about 5-6 years ago to where it is today. Now, going back to like the 1970s, you had the Defiance, Ohio werewolf case in Ohio, which Stephen King's book Silver Bullet basically based off of that particular incident. Then you had the Michigan Dogman that goes all the way back to the 1800s, and then the Beast of Bray Road in Wisconsin. Those have been like the biggest ones known about. So it was basically in like a certain part of the country is where all this stuff was happening, and now we're getting reports. Reports all over the world in places you would never expect, like India, Australia, New Zealand. They're blowing up.
Yeah, when we talked to what
Gail.
What was the lady's Gail? Yes, when we talked to Gail from Hudson Valley,
Bigfoot. Yeah, it's like Bigfoot. Yeah, from Hudson Valley. Yeah.
Yeah, she said that that she also said that there, in India and Australia there was Dogman popping up as well. So what is the difference between a Sasquatch / Bigfoot and a Dogman? If we were in the wild and we saw a creature, what would separate a Dogman from a Sasquatch?
A Sasquatch is more human shape. Looks more like a gorilla. The characteristics on a Bigfoot is very human. The buttocks is human. The facial features, things like that. So that's more of that characteristic. A Dogman is basically you take a wolf and you put him where he's able to walk on two legs. Very slender body, very massive chest. Arms, the front paws more human. A lot of the reports that we get, and high pointed ears, snout, very canine looking. That's the big difference. When you see a Bigfoot, your first expression, what you're going to sit there see that gorilla, big monkey. Dogman, a wolf.
Now, in comparison to size, you've always heard how tall Bigfoot is and things like that. Is Dogman incomparable to the size of a Bigfoot, or are they more small since they are dogs?
The basic size of the reports that we're getting from all around the world is right around 7.5 feet. Now we've got reports of these things being much bigger. The largest report we ever got was about 10.5 feet.
Wow!
Oh my!
Yeah, massive size.
As if they're not already terrifying.
Terrifying.
You add an extra.
Exactly.
Oh Jesus!
All right, dude, I have to ask this real quick.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Do they primarily when they travel and move, are they doing it on 2 legs, or are they down on 4 legs like a wolf or anything like that, or is it just up on 2 legs?
A lot of the reports that we're getting, they're always on 4 legs. Okay,
Okay.
they're bipedal, or quadrupeds before they get to like a bipedal. That's basically what we're. There's quite a few cases where people have seen these things where it's just basically walking on 2 legs. We got this one really good report out of Utah. This guy was in some high grass. He was hunting, saw 2 deer. The deer just basically froze. One took off, the other one went down into the ground. So he sees something coming out of the tree line. So at first he thought it was, a moose or something, because he couldn't really get to see too much because so much shadow that was on it went out. And then basically what he saw was a large wolf that was walking on 2 legs, and it was sniffing in the air. Now, what was so unique about this particular sighting is that one eye was missing. It had part of the lip that was bitten off, and he said there was a human-style bite mark on its chest, about here.
Wow.
And we have a artist, really good artist drawing of what this guy saw, and it's really unique. So what we think is that human-style bite that's on it is probably from a Sasquatch, where it got into some type of a fight with it. Because, the guy, he said you can see the teeth marks because he was looking through his scope. And he was able to see the teeth mark. He said it was a perfect bite that was right there on the shoulder.
Wow, that is incredible. Now with the whole thing going on, there's a lot of theories about what Bigfoot is. What are the running theories right now on Dogman? I tried to do a little research. And there was, it ran the gamut from created by the government to that it's almost like a werewolf type situation. Where are we at with that right now?
Well, we did a podcast one night where we were asking the viewers, hey, what do you think Dogman is? Okay, so we were basically taking people's questions or answers and putting it down on a list. So we came up to 3 groups: supernatural, flesh and blood, and extraterrestrial. Okay. And some people say extraterrestrial, but the interesting thing about it, we've got a lot of reports from U.S. soldiers and Canadian soldiers and European soldiers who were part of the NATO forces in Afghanistan that has actually seen these things on the battlefield in Afghanistan and Iraq. So,
wow,
what's kind of unique about these things, and everyone described that they were wearing like a body armor.
Wow.
Some type of body armor. And then we had one report from a guy who said he was with a special operations unit for the federal government, prior military, and basically, because when a down UFO happens, they don't send the military out. These are all contractors that the government hires. They were either like Navy SEALs, Special Forces, combat controllers, things like that. And so they go and what handles the situation. He said in the 1970s, we came in contact with an alien species, which was canine. So they were very, very dangerous species. We didn't know too much about them, but they wore a body armor to protect themselves. But they were so dangerous, he said, they kept them out of the country. They wouldn't keep them in the United States. So they were in a South American country, and they were able to get out of the facility. They killed some of the people in the facility, got out, ended up in some village, and was killing the people in the village. So they had to go down and take care of the situation. But he was saying that they're extremely intelligent, but they had like zero common sense. Meaning that if there was, say, a pile of, bricks or something right there, and you're shooting at it, it wouldn't go hide behind the bricks. It would basically like stand there, that type thing. It just didn't have the common sense to know to run for cover. And that's one particular story that we got. And what was so unique about that, I was talking to Linda Goffrey, She's the author of Beasts of Bray Road. She got the same story, but from a different person, about a year earlier than I got the story, to kind of corroborate the story a little bit. But this is the kind of stuff that we're getting when it comes to the extraterrestrial. Now, when you say supernatural, people believe that this thing is coming through dimensions. It's able to cloak itself. It's like, a skinwalker, things to that effect. And then you have the basic that it is a flesh and blood animal, something that has always been here. It was never noticed for long periods of time, and then it's there. But every single culture around the world has dealt with what they call dog-headed men. The Greek mythology, Egyptian mythology, Viking mythology, King Lycan. Giving another example, St. Christopher. He was a dog-headed man. There's actual paintings of him still in the Vatican with a dog's head, and the story behind it is that this was a race of beings that lived alongside human, and the Catholic Church said they were evil, so the church went out and killed them off. So St. Christopher was the only survivor, which they captured, taught Christianity to, and became a saint. So I actually have some pictures of the actual paintings that's in the Vatican of St. Christopher having a dog head. And when time was going on, they ended up giving him a human head because, when you start, praying to, gods and saints and stuff like that with animal head, that's paganism.
Right,
so
right.
they were trying to get away from that. So that's why now he has a human head.
Wow.
I knew none of this.
The armor
dropped it all on us.
The almost like body armor thing is crazy to me.
Well,
when you think that they, I mean, if we could play a game for hours of Dogman versus something, when would you think that they would need the body armor? You know what I mean? Like, I mean, they seem like they would rule basically.
Well, here's the thing. I'm going to tell you two short little stories that kind of reflects on that. Now, the first story is, well, I can't say it's just basic information. When George Lucas did Star Wars, okay, he was a Mason. Most of the people that ran NASA were Masons, okay? So he was able to see things that no one else was able to see, not even people in NASA, when he was Star Wars, okay? Really good example, and you can Google this. This is really freaky. I think it was the Apollo 11 mission, found a crash vehicle on the moon, and they took pictures of it, but they found a robot, and the robot's head is identical to CP3O's. So if you Google Dark Mission by Richard Hoagland, go to Google Image, and you can see that picture, and it looks like CP3O's head. It's really neat. So there was another photograph from NASA where there was a ship inside of a crater that looked like the Millennium Falcon.
I saw that. I know exactly what you're talking about. I did see that.
And here's another, because he had werewolves in the bar scene. And so Star Wars came out in 1977. A book came out about the characters in 1978. So in that book, it has the werewolf figure, the entity werewolf in there wearing body armor. Unique. Okay. So the second part of that is we had a full-bird colonel from the Air Force, retired, talk to us, and he was saying that these dogmen, what they are, they're clones. Okay, we deal with 27 alien species. The United States does, or basically the world. And there's one particular alien species that we don't trust, but we work with them. But technology-wise, we can stand up against them in a battle, and they know that. Okay, and he was saying that he was aboard this ship with other people in the military, and they went into a hangar, and he said there's all these werewolves wearing body armor, and they were all lined up, all uniformed. And what this alien species does is they'll go to a planet, they'll drop these canine aliens down to create havoc in the planet. Okay, kill the people, just totally destroy. They come in and destroy them, and they're heroes to the people and the planet, and they end up basically getting themselves in, so deep in their government, society and everything like that, and they basically take them over. And that was kind of a unique story, but you have to sit there and think to yourself, is this stuff legit?
Yeah.
But
Well, it's like, they're propping themselves up. They know, they get their stooges to do all this crazy stuff, and they know how to defeat these stooges. But that's
it's almost like the old gimmick. It's almost like the old gimmick where you're going out with a girl on the first date, and you get one of your friends to come over and act like you're going to rob them, and then you're the hero when you knock the gun out of their hand and they run away. Have you ever done that, Bishop? No.
No.
Okay, maybe it's just me then.
No.
yeah.
But question. So back to the Masons. You said that George Lucas was a Mason, and that he was privy to other information. So what, he had this information about the I don't know if we want to call these the Dogman that we deal with, but the werewolf aliens, I know
what you're trying to say. What people think is that here he is, doing a movie about aliens, and in the bar scene in the original Star Wars, he has two werewolves in there. Okay, so when the book came out about all the character weapons and things like that, here is the werewolf from the bar scene standing there with a weapon, and he's wearing body armor. So where did he get that from, or is that just something created out of their mind? It could be. We don't know. But now we're getting stories of these werewolves, alien species that's wearing body armor.
Right. Okay.
And it's one of those things where when you think about, all these different scenarios, and each one is almost beyond your belief. You can almost not even allow yourself to think that way. But at the same time, you have people like you who have gone out. Have you personally seen a Dogman in the wild?
I can't. Well, yes and no.
Okay.
When I was doing an investigation at Danube National Forest, where there's a lot of Dogman sightings taking place, a lot of Bigfoot sightings taking place there, we were real deep in the woods along the trail, and the trail kind of went to a bend off to the right. So we came around, we had our flashlights on, and there's a deer. We caught the eye shine from the deer. So as we got closer, we were able to see the deer. Now the deer ended up jumping over this bush that was right behind it, and there was a tree there. And as it jumped over, we saw this arm to just grab onto the deer. Big hairy arm, grab onto the deer. You hear the deer screech. So we don't know what that was. I mean, you could see the arm and the shoulder perfect of what it was. I mean, it was just massive, dark hair, hairy. So it could have been a Bigfoot, could have been a Dogman. I don't know. But I've seen a Bigfoot. I can tell you that. Hell, I was in the Army at the time, and I had 3 of us with me, and we were less than 12, 15 feet away from it, when we saw it.
Where were you at when you saw the Bigfoot when you were in the Army?
Grayling, Michigan.
Okay.
Camp Grayling.
So, okay, let me play devil's advocate here. You see this Bigfoot. What is your first response? I mean, isn't it, especially being in the military, wasn't it to try and, assess, was this a dangerous individual? I mean, did you guys think about like, hey, were you armed at the time when you saw it, or were you just like wandering around unarmed?
We were unarmed. We were in a vehicle. We went off road. Basically, get from point A to point B a little bit quicker, and the tree line was getting thick, and so we decided to back the vehicle up and go back up the hill. As we were doing that, something large moved from the left to the right. All right, we thought maybe we hit a tree was falling. It was that massive. And it was about 8:30, 9 o'clock in the evening, in July or August, I can't remember. So it was still light out. So I mean, it's this massive body, very muscular body, long arms, long legs, blackish red eyes, very human face, very human nose, massive jaw. I mean, this thing was, and when he moved, it was like he was gliding. It was the best way to put it. But we knew there were stuff on that base. Multiple UFO sightings, multiple Bigfoot sightings in that area. I mean, it wasn't uncommon for somebody to see Bigfoot on that post in the field.
That's crazy.
You've seen tracks. You've seen tracks all the time.
And when you saw it, what did you think? I mean, what was your first thought? Like, were you in awe, or did you feel like you were threatened at that time? Are they friendly?
No, it was in awe because we're looking at him, he's looking at us, and he's moving. We were no threat to him, he was no threat to us. So I think he was just more curious about us. Otherwise made himself notice to us. He could have just stayed there, and probably we would never have seen him. So,
did you guys report this to your command?
Oh, hell no. No.
Good move.
No, I didn't tell anybody for like 15 years until I wrote my first book, that would have been my second, Traces of Grassman. I talk about it in there. But no, I think Linda Moulton Howe was the only person I ever told that story to. And she asked, she was on Art Bell show, and she asked, can I tell this story on Art Bell? And I'm like, yeah, you can do that. Yeah.
I mean, it's amazing. Now, I've heard several people say that Bigfoot is dangerous, and I've heard people say Bigfoot is not dangerous. I've heard people say that this Dogman, though, on the other hand, is very dangerous in comparison. Do you agree with that?
The thing about Bigfoot being dangerous, there is really very minimal amount of reports that Bigfoot is alive. Now, if you look into Native American history, it's all over there. I mean, we have a Native American museum here in Ohio. We have a lot of Indian mounts over here. This was Cherokee and Shoshone, I think was here, and they have a battle axe in the museum that they used to fight the big blue giants, which were the Bigfoot, in that museum. So a lot of the Native American culture has stuff where they dealt with that. Now here in white man society, there's stories of people being attacked, or people, stories of people being sticks thrown at them, things like that. But I can't ever recall any stories of someone being killed. Now, there was a story here in Ohio back in the 1800s where a woman said that Bigfoot came out and attacked her and her father, killed her father, and she threw rocks at it to get away. And a big newspaper article about it, hit all across the country. But basically what happened is that he cut her out of the will, and she busted his head open, blamed it on a Bigfoot.
Bigfoot scapegoat.
Yeah. So, but when it comes to Dogman, there's a lot of stories, especially at LBL down land between the lakes, Kentucky's, about the stuff that goes on, the family massacre down there. I mean, we have a guy that worked for the Kentucky Fish and Game, and he saw one literally kill 2 campers at LPL in 1979, and he gave us his deathbed confession. You know, telling us this story. He never told anybody. You know, because they were told never. You see this thing, you don't ever report it. You'll lose your job. And you know, he said I had to live all these years knowing that this thing took the life of 2 people. There's 2 families out there that have no idea they don't have loved ones. But he said, if I knew if I had to say something about this, I would be putting myself in jeopardy, family's life in jeopardy. So he felt that he needed to confess it, give the story. So when he died, because he had cancer, and when he died, you know, he'd go to heaven, you know, type thing. So yeah, it's a very interesting story.
Is that a hotbed? Because I saw on your site, on your Facebook page, the land between lakes. So that's in Kentucky. Is that like a hotbed
Kentucky,
of
Tennessee.
Dogman, or is that like okay?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. There's a lot of Bigfoot sightings down in that area too. There's a road that like separates it, line between the lakes, which is 22, and south of 22 is like where all the Bigfoot sightings, and north of 22 is where all the Dogman sightings are. And every once in a while they'll do a little crossover, but not that often. You know, we go. You know, they're basic like, you know, if we go down there, they're threatening us with hell and stuff down there. Yeah, they don't like us. You know,
I mean, when you guys go to these places, are you armed? I mean, is no? I mean, that's very ballsy. I mean, especially with the way you're describing Dogman, it seems like Dogman would be very dangerous.
Well, see, here's the thing. You know, we're a non-kill organization. You know, we're researchers. Okay, so yeah, we carry like bear spray. We have these things that are called tactical electronic distraction devices is what SWAT teams use. And when you hit it, you throw it towards them, it puts off a really high-pitched sound, strobe light, you know, and it distracts them for you to get out. We have this particular firearm that came from South Africa, and basically it shoots rubber bullets. It's a non-lethal weapon. You get hit with this thing, you're going to fill it for about a week. Okay, it's basically what they were using in Portland, you know, for the riots and things. And you know, we have, you know, those to protect ourselves. But you know, if it got to the point where, you know, you get killed, you get killed. Okay, I know that's kind of odd to say, but see, to give you an example, we were going to do a television show on subject with A&E. We filmed some episodes. So the episodes that we filmed, we went back to, you know, the top people there, and they're watching the episodes. And like one of the episodes, Dave's like, you know, well, you know, I'm out in the field, you know, I have my GoPros on, I have my body cams, you know, my cameras and stuff like that. And if I run across one, if it kills me, you know, I've got my death on camera. And A&E just like flipped out. You know,
I bet.
You guys are not getting a TV show. You know, I mean,
if we die, it's great ratings. I mean,
yeah, they can't have a basically death by Dogman suicide.
We sent 10 guys into the woods. None of them come back, but we do have the footage. Don't worry, no lawsuits.
You know, the thing of it is, you know, we've had like 2 networks that were like really freaking out about it. They're like, man, you know, somebody could get killed on it, you know, doing a TV show, lawsuit. I'm like, well, you know, mountain monsters running around with guns shooting in the woods,
right?
You know, and like that. Obviously, they were blanks and stuff they were shooting, but the whole point of it is, people want to be scared. They don't want to be entertained. Okay,
exactly.
And networks can't understand that. Now, I just filmed for a TV show last week about the subject. So I had to go out into the field with two female hosts of the show, you know, and trying to get them to get out into the woods and actually do something, because oh my God, there's spiders, I mean, type thing, and it's just Jesus Christ. But I sent you a couple pictures of what I took out in the field that day.
Okay, you took these pictures. How long ago were these pictures taken?
The 18th of, no, the 28th.
Okay, we'll go through a couple
26th, 27th of October.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, this, I mean, you can tell there's a shape there. I mean, what's the story behind this? You guys were just... Was this moving?
No, see, I'm by myself. They told me meet them out in the location at 2 o'clock. They didn't show up till 10 o'clock.
Oh, no.
Okay. So I decided what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and walk the woods. So I walked about almost 2 miles, okay, and I heard a growl, okay. So I look around. I mean, this was echo. I mean, it was like it was right behind me here. And I look around, nothing there, so I keep on walking, and this huge stick just barely misses my head right in front of me. Okay, so and as I turn around, look in that direction, I saw this large, dark object. It freaking hit the ground. So I'm about 40, 50 yards away. So I took this picture, so you could see something staring. So I can't really tell if that's the face. Some people say, wow, that's like a snout. I don't know, but there's another picture.
This one right here,
you can see the eyes looking right at you.
You can see eyes, yeah, and that's very.
I was wondering on the last one if there's eyes too. If you look between the two branches, it almost looks like eyes.
Yeah,
like staring right at you.
Yeah, staring right at you. So,
but this one is very eerie.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah. And there's another one. I think there was like a side view of it. I think I sent it for you. Yeah, and it almost looked like a side. So if you look at the environment's like all gray. I was like all dead, and you have this dark object just right there. So there was a little. I ended up going back over to that location where it was a few hours later, and it goes down to almost like a small ravine and comes back up. So whatever it was laying in that area, looking right at me.
So did it move? Like, did it leave, or for you to capture these pictures, did you?
Well,
First of all, is that a Dogman in your assumption, or would you say it's Bigfoot?
I don't know. He, like you say, he was about 40 yards away. He wouldn't move. You can see his head. You can see him move from left to right. I ended up taking the stick that it threw at me, and I threw it back over in the direction where it was, just to see what type of reaction I would get. No grunts, no nothing like that. So I just basically was kind of like doing almost like a crescent moon, going back and forth to see if I can get a better look. No sound or anything like that. So I decided, okay, well, I'm going to go ahead and go back to the car, check my film. I sat there a little bit, went across the road to just look over in that area, and I saw something which was like a feral pig just like comes running right at me, and I had to run back to the car, so I was sitting in the car for about an hour while this feral pig, big hairy thing's just like running around my vehicle, snorting and all this other stuff. So after the pig left, I sat in the car for a little bit, and so I decided to go back out there to see if it was still there, just to see if it was a rotted piece of wood, just something. And when I got back out that location, it wasn't there. So it's hard saying. I have no idea what it was, but it saw me, and like I said, it ended up throwing a stick at me. I mean, this thing he threw it at least 50 yards. And
do you believe that they are using some sort of I mean, I don't want to say cloaking or something like out of the Predator movies, but it seems like a lot of times when people think they can get the shot they need, they can't because of some sort of. I mean, I'm not saying the picture's naturally blurry, but something is just eschewing it at all times. Do you think that they are using something, or there's, they're giving off something electromagnetic that we can't feel or something? What exactly do you think is happening
the thing of it is, it's like a deer. It's like a rabbit. They blend in with the environment. That's why they're coats the color they are. I'm going to email you a picture real quick.
Okay.
Okay. And this is one that we got in California at JOEDY National Forest. I'm going to send you a series, the original picture, and then the if I can find it here.
Jody, while you do that, I was on your website. I pulled up. Do you mind if we? Because I have never heard this. The howls. There's 3 different potential howls from Dogman. This one is from Dayton, and let me play this and let's listen to that.
Yeah. Yeah, with that one, it's kind of.
That one's crazy.
That's
frightening.
very frightening.
That one was actually taken by the media back in the 1980s, and the area was Germantown, Ohio.
Oh.
And there's a legend of this werewolf in Germantown, Dogman, that goes all the way back to the 70s. And I don't. If you've ever been to Ohio, you know it's all farmland and corn. Okay, and there was an area in Germantown where they just went into the woods and just made a street called Buck Street. Well, everybody on that street would see this creature that looked like a werewolf, and they called it the Butter Monster. Now they call it the Germantown werewolf. So the media went up there and said, "Look, we're going to try and find out what this thing is," and they did a whole bunch of newspaper articles on it, and that was actually the audio that they took. So it's very interesting.
I pulled up the other one. This one's from Cincinnati. Gives me shivers.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Ooh, that rocks me.
Oh, that's insane. Oh, God almighty.
Right, yeah, that one's worse than the one you played earlier. That's more terrifying.
That's
and
crazy.
it's so I don't know. It's just like it doesn't seem natural. It almost seems like you hear something like that and you're like, wow, that's what could possibly be making that sound.
Well, yeah, it sounds like two animals mixed almost.
Yeah.
It's there's like a dog or a wolf, some sort of canine thing.
Well, see, that, I don't know. For some reason, it's not letting me send these pictures to you, so I'll try here in a second. There was this sighting that took place right by Lunken Airfield in Cincinnati. Okay, there's a bunch of condominiums that they built. There was all wooded area condominiums, and there's still some woods there. Well, this couple was walking their dog along the fence line by the airport, and saw something large when they first it was a bear because they only saw the back. So the dog just went haywire, wanting to get away. They had a lab, so it was a pretty good sized dog, and it just wanted to go. So this thing stood up and looked at them, and they described this thing as a werewolf. Is basically what they said.
Mm-hmm.
It made this screeching sound at them. Okay, so we went out to investigate it and got the story, got a eyewitness drawing of what they saw. So we, in the woods there, we sat there for maybe like 3 nights, I think it was. And on the 3rd night, we got the sound, and that's just a small portion of it. That's just So, I mean, got a really good section of the sound there. So we went to the people and we said, okay, we're going to play 3 sounds for you. Let me know which one it was that you heard. And that's the one they picked. Say, that's the sound this thing made.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I mean,
and what's so interesting, the Ohio DNR asked if they could have a copy of that audio because they said they have nothing in their system. They have all different type of animal sounds, and they have nothing in their system that matches that.
Holy cow. Got one more, and this one was Bellbrook, it says? Bellbrook.
Bellbrook, Ohio.
So there's some things we want to do. We want to straighten things out historically. Did you just hear that? What the fuck? Did you just hear that?
Wow.
What the fuck? What was that?
That was strange.
Yeah.
And much different.
Yeah,
And it's
that
one of
was
these-
actually... what was... Okay, I sent those pictures to you. What was so interesting about that particular case, Dave, who is our tech guy, was just out doing a ghost investigation, is what that happened, and ended up getting that howl in that area. Because they had, what they were seeing was a werewolf in this particular area right out by where the cemetery was, which was kind of unique. And he just happened to get that howl that night.
While we're in, earlier we were talking about if you guys are armed and stuff like that. You being in the military, what kind of caliber round or weapon would you think? Say if I'm walking through the woods and I, I'm not, don't hold myself to the level that you guys to not kill the wolf, the Dogman. And I am terrified, but I need a weapon to kill the Wolfman. What kind of weapon do you think would take down the Wolfman? Some sort of high caliber pistol, or I mean, what are we talking about?
Well, here's the thing. I was an ammunition specialist in the military. It was one of my MOSs. So it's shot placement. It's not the caliber of the weapon. Okay. Real quick example. There was a poacher that took down an elephant with a 22. Okay.
Okay. Wow.
So because he hit it in the right spot behind where he knew to hit it. So it's shot placement. Okay. But when it comes to Dogman, we actually had one of our researchers actually shot one point blank range in the chest with a 357, and he said it didn't even budge. We've had quite a few people that said they have shot this thing and is not budge. What we believe, and it's just a theory, okay, that the sternum on the chest is very thick and very wide, so where it's actually protecting the heart and protecting most of the organs. Okay. Now, when people describe Dogman, they describe it as a very slender waist, but with a massive chest, chest cavity. But a headshot would do it. I mean, I would. My preference, if I had it, would be a 4570. That's a really good round, or 50 caliber.
Right. So you're saying that the maybe like the muscle content of the chest is so dense that the bone. Okay.
The bone, gotcha. The sternum bone, that's in the center of your rib cage. We believe that it's further over where it's covering most of the chest, and it's very, very thick, so it's able to take an impact around.
Okay,
well, I'll tell you.
Whenever you're ready, I have those images for you. I can go ahead and poke.
I was just going to say, I was just looking at the going through the evidence on the website, by the way, which is NorthAmericanDogmanProject.com, and go the evidence stuff is pretty interesting, especially with the cattle.
Well,
that was.
I did a lecture right before the COVID incident took place, and the NSA actually showed up there.
Oh,
They were there, and they let me know they were there, and they told me, plain, we got some interesting stuff, and they collect data.
Wow.
You know, so and GoDaddy contacted us because they were our, website people, and they're like, dude, you're having all these government agencies monitoring your site. I mean, what are you guys doing? I mean, you're having the CIA, the NSA, you're having the Department of the Army. He's just going through this list of all these different agencies. That's like, boom. And he said, I mean, this is not one time. I mean, they're like 3-4 times a week, battering your site.
Do you think they're hiding something? Are they hiding the truth about Dogman? Do they know a lot more than we do, or do you think they're just as much in the dark?
I think they're much in the dark, and they're seeing what we have, and they're seeing what other researchers have. I think that's basically what it is. They just want to know what we've got, and whatever information we got, obviously they have it now.
Are you ever? Are you ever scared that you might have a little bit too much information and that your life could be changed a little bit? I mean, there's a lot of stories about things like that.
I've had some very odd things happen. Give you an example. I'm one of these people that I make sure my car gets the oil changed. You put the right gas in it. The car's clean. You keep up maintenance. Boom. Okay. So I was, my wife came home and says, I got a ticket. My license plates were expired for 18. I'm like, no, they're not expired. Okay. There's no tag on the side on your car, and I'm like, well, wait, something's not right here. So the paperwork in our car is gone for that registration for that thing. But thank God we had a state showing that we paid it. Okay.
Wow.
3 days later, I get pulled over by the state. Your license or your license are 18 months late. I'm like, this is nuts. I can't find my paperwork for my vehicle. Okay. So I'm fighting with the, DMV, and they're like, we have nothing in our system. And it's like, well, I've got, showing that I paid you for this. And they go, we have to go by what the system says. Okay.
Wow.
That was the first one. The second one was I get in, I go out to my car about 5 in the morning. I'm going somewhere. I forgot my wallet. Come back in the car. I left the car. Okay. Not a good thing to do, but I wasn't even in the house 5-6 seconds probably. I have a 150-pound German Shepherd, okay, who sits on the couch to look out the window. This dog goes ape shit if anybody walks the street. Okay, he lets you know that's his street. So he's looking out the window. I'm coming in. I go into the kitchen, grab my wallet, come back out. My dog's laying on the floor with his paws next to his head. Would not move. My car's gone.
Oh.
Okay.
Huh.
All right. I'm like, okay, something put my dog on the floor and was able to get in my car. So that morning there was a active shooter. So all the police were in one area. Okay. So no police response for hours. So the police end up coming to about 9 o'clock in the morning. Okay, give them the story, tell them what kind of car it is, and so he's driving down the road looking for finds my car 2 miles down the road. Okay, and he comes back and goes, "Look, I found your car." Gets in, he says, "I saw that car at 5:30 in the morning with 2 DNR vehicles with the officers to your car. I thought it was one of their officers' car." So, things like that happen. There was one of our other guys was coming back from an event, and a car was playing games with them. and he was kind of getting upset with this guy because he says, why is this guy doing this? Well, the guy cut him, went right in front of him. He hit him. Okay,
Oof.
and he didn't even have time to call 911, and the police were right there, and he got a ticket. The police didn't even talk to the guy in the vehicle in front of him. Nothing. And he's like, man, something's not right. Okay, I mean, this was like a setup. The police officer wouldn't allow him to get out of his vehicle to get insurance information from the other guy. And I mean, it was just crazy. So the guy, looking off, and he's like, wait a minute, I need this guy's insurance. And the officer told him, you need to go home. Just go home. Just suck it up and go home. And it was just odd things like that. One of our other was out in the field. He's walking in the woods, and he comes around this area, and you can drive your vehicle down. There's like a little open spot there, and he says there's two guys in a white pickup truck that were there, and they called him out by his name, asking him what is he doing there. He goes, I don't have to tell you nothing. He goes, you have to tell us something. Why are you out here? So he's like, I just start, no problem or anything like that. He goes, I just want to turn around. Crazy things like that. We're filming a documentary on the Germantown werewolf. Those were the drawings that I sent you.
Right.
And, we went out to the area, and DNR's all in that area telling us we're not allowed to be here, or they're going to arrest us if we're here. I mean, just crazy stuff. It's like they knew where we were going to be. No one knew where we were to be, except for everybody in the group on where we were
trust
going
me.
to go film.
Your phone and computer were all listening very carefully. They knew exactly where
sure.
you were going. They let them know where you were going before you even left. They knew where you were going.
Well, after we got that guy's deathbed confession and went public with it, that's when all the craziness happened. I mean, I cars sitting out in front of my house at night. We have a bus stop, and right in front of the house, and there's cars always parked there, and police are really aggravated when people are there because they make them leave, and there's times cops just right by, and it's just like, man, it's just crazy stuff. I find cigarette butts in my driveway.
Ooh.
I mean, it's just.
I mean, to me, these are all just like, hey, tip of the hat, let you know. We can do whatever we want, whenever we want. So be careful what you do.
Well, the thing I had this incident. We had a site. They just built this park like right across the street from my home, or on the backside of my house rather, and they still left part of the forest, but they put like this mile walk around and a little area for the kids to play. So they had a Dogman, and this couple saw this werewolf just walk right across the road off the trail, and they ended up telling one of their friends that actually was a friend of mine, which was so unique. I was able to get this. So I went and investigated, got the tracks, and for like a week after that, my dog would not leave the house. My dog's not for anything. I'm not kidding, but he would not leave the house to go out walking. He would just stare down this one side of the street. Well, up the fifth day, I wake up and I go out to my car, and there's literally a dog's hand on my door by my window, and you can see the claw marks there. So I don't know. I mean, it's I got a picture of it too. It's kind of interesting.
Wow.
Talking about pictures, these ones that you sent that progressively get closer and closer to this image. Let me give the first image. Here is the first image. I mean, right away, it's very distinct.
Okay, now there's a trail right there. Okay, now the guy that took this picture is a Star Trek fanatic. Okay, there's a couple episodes of Star Trek that was filmed in this forest, so he wanted to go see the site and say, hey, I was here, this is where Star Trek was filmed. So he's walking, and the same spot where that thing is, there was two people standing there. And he saw them. They were sitting there talking a little bit further, and he heard screaming. He comes back, and he sees this thing standing there. He didn't see the people anymore, so he doesn't know what happened to him. So he took the picture with his phone. So what we ended up doing was make sure it wasn't a Photoshop picture. We ended up getting the actual phone. We did metadata on the phone and found out, whatever he took a picture was actually there, the GPS on it, everything. And what, was real, whatever that was. But if you get the pictures closer.
I mean, look at this. I mean, you can see progressively.
You can see.
I mean, look at that. Mm-hmm. I mean, you can see.
The high pointed ears, the body.
Oh, yeah.
Now, the mouth isn't open. What we think that is just a branch or a leaf or something that's running across its face. But you can see the snout. You can see what appears to be an eye, and you have the high pointed ear. That's not a bear. Okay. It's crazy, whatever that was. The guy, when he saw it, he said, man, this thing was, his first thing was, do you ever see that movie Van Helsing? That's what that thing was.
Yeah. It looks like something right out of Van Helsing.
Yeah, it's definitely something on its hind legs as well, and the, like you said,
you can tell look how small the waist is. I mean, it's like small waisted, long legs, pointy ears. I mean, you're definitely, when you see it, it's kind of shocking because, I mean, even from the distance, like this one, you can really see, okay, this isn't a bear. This isn't, a cat of any kind. This is, definitely something that doesn't belong there. That's right. That's frightening. I mean, that's
a great picture.
I would never get a picture. I'd be gone so fast. I would never get
Good point.
One single photo.
I mean, we have other pictures that were sent to us. I mean, you get something. There's ones that we got from a video camera in England, and these are like the best, clearest pictures. Okay, but they're too good.
Mm.
Okay, I can send those to you if you wanted to look at them and pop them up.
See, I saw. Well, let's look at these drawings you sent me. What are they part of? You said a documentary you guys are working on, or are you finished?
We're doing a documentary of the Germantown werewolf, and these are drawings that's going to be put in the movie. And actually, it's our storyboard of there's this one particular guy who he's looking out his window. He sees this in his cornfield, looking right at him, and there's like the backside of it, looking at his house, and he's constantly seeing this thing, described as a werewolf. Now he moved, okay, a few feet away, and the thing followed him to his home, and looking in the window, and his wife sees it.
Huh.
So, and it's a real interesting case.
Now, in this photo, the almost said Wolfman, the Dogman has yellow eyes, and I think I saw on different sites and stuff, it was talking about, and it might have been your site as well, talking about the eye color in the dark. Is it yellow? Is it blue? What is the? So
it varies. Honestly, it varies. Either to the yellowish green, to a blue. It just varies on what people are seeing. I mean, there's even red eye shine, that people see, and when the eye shine is basic because humans' eyes don't shine at night.
Right.
Okay. I mean, if you're on night vision, you're able to get the eye shine. Okay. But because we can't see at night, they can. Animals can. That's why you get the eye shine.
Okay. Makes sense.
This other photo, I mean, did he chase them from their home? Is this a different one? I mean, what exactly is going on here?
No, he's going down the road. They were at a Halloween event, and This is Anthony Road, Anthony Road, which is a very scary, dark road. And he's driving down the road, and he has all of his friends with him, and this thing is like right there on the road. So he doesn't know why this thing is stalking him, and it's been stalking him for quite a few years. Because, like I said, he moved, and this thing followed him, to his new house.
I mean, that's remarkable that, and the thing that I often wonder too when we're talking about something like this, because it does seem like they're so akin to wolves. Wolves always travel in packs, but I've always when I see something about Dogman, they're like solitary beasts that are alone. I mean, is that a misconception or what?
Yeah, it is. We have quite a few, especially one researcher that shot one. The one he shot, he saw one, and it was out in the open. It let him see it. This other one came to tried to flank him, and then he ended up shooting it. And they're like, I hate to say it like this, but they're like velociraptors, where they let you see the one, and the other ones come in. Wolves do the same thing. So what they do, I think they let you see one, but there's always other ones there. Now, this particular area on Anthony Road, we were there in October, not this past October, but the October prior to that.
Right.
And when we went to that area, there was a deer's head, where something ripped the head off the deer and put it on the post where we doing our investigation.
Oh, gosh.
Okay, that head sat there for a year. The DNR never moved it. The Jefferson police actually built a facility in the woods, and there's cameras all over the place. So, I mean, you have a department of 6 people. Their budget is small, so they built a facility with cameras and all this stuff on this road. Now they have where they're able to block the road to keep people off the road. They know there's something there.
Mm-hmm.
They totally know there's something there.
That's crazy.
That is crazy because, I mean, you think about stuff like this, you wonder when you hear stories of people going missing in the national parks, which is a huge conspiracy theory about that. To me, it begs the wonder if this has something to do with it, if Dogman is somehow tied in with it. I mean, some people say, Bigfoot has something to do with it as well. But, I mean, children are going missing and being found like 3 miles away where there's no way they could have got there, murdered. I mean, you hear the story of the Girl Scouts that were attacked in their tent and mutilated many years ago in National Park. And how many times do you think like crimes are happening that we're putting off on, the local pervert or a serial killer coming through that could basically be pinned on the Dogman?
Well, what we're doing is we're getting information from U.S. Forestry Service and different state DNRs on bear attacks and big cat attack, and we're trying to coincide it together with Dogman attacks, because a bear attack, big cat attack, or Dogman attack could be disguised very much as a bear or a big cat. We're doing this, because we're getting all these different reports of these animals, attacking people. It's just something's going on. So the DNR and U.S. Forestry Service has to know what's going on. So can they cover it up, saying it's a bear attack? Yeah, of course, because people are going to believe that. And it's in a coroner, obviously he's going to know the difference. But, you and I, we're not going to know the difference.
Right.
It's frightening to think that, these kinds of things are going on, because it's almost a thing of nightmares. I mean, you think of these things that are going on that we know nothing about, but at the same time, it's running parallel with us in a way that we could interact with it. and it could be, with deadly consequences. So, I mean, for people to need to know, what do you think the biggest takeaway when people watch this back, they need to take away from this about the Dogman?
Well, the thing of it is, this is an apex predator. Okay, he kills. That's his whole thing. And the thing, what we're finding, believe it or not, is a lot of animal kills where they're not being eaten, but they're being killed. No predator does that. Is he doing it to let them, let people know that that's their territory? It's hard saying, but they're definitely, it's definitely an apex predator. It's something you can definitely got to watch out for.
I just saw something you sent me that is very strange. I don't even know how to classify what I just saw. Let me put this in for us all to look at. If you want to go ahead and start talking about it real quick, I'll pop it in for us.
This is one of 3 pictures that was taken from a camera on a farm in England. Something was killing the livestock. So the first one, he's coming around this. Then you have this one. Now the third one's kind of neat. And like I said, I only sent you this one here.
Right.
You can see it's shaking, like it's getting the water off its body.
I mean, it looks like it's got wet fur. I mean,
yeah, it
if
looks
you've
like
ever...
Yeah. So the thing of it is, we did as much as we on the pictures, and without having the original, SD card, it's hard to tell. But we can't find anything showing that these things were photoshopped or anything like that. The shadow, because you look at the shadow's pretty.
Yeah, that's what I was just looking at. Yeah.
On to what, where it's at, because the truck shadow goes in the same direction. So the security camera, I get from what he was saying, it pops on and it takes the picture, so you kind of have like the light hitting it. So, but this was in England, and they swear that these things are there. It's in their culture, folklore, everything. And but what's so unique about this, the body shape is just right. The small skinny legs, the ears, the snout, the hands. I mean, this thing actually looks like a human body. So let me.
And when you see something like this, it's so perfect. And I mean, I understand what you were saying earlier about when you see something that is so perfect, you automatically are skeptic of it because it's almost too
perfect. Yeah.
Yeah, we get a lot of this stuff. I'm not kidding. We get a lot of neat stuff that people send us.
And it's like, do you feel like a lot of times people don't want to come forward and say they've saw something because of the stigma around it, where people possibly ridicule them, or they don't want people to think they're quote unquote crazy? Yeah.
Well, it's like that where you're talking about, people see you, they hear you. They kind of laugh, but when they get you alone, they're going to tell you, hey, I saw this, or my dad told me about this, somebody told you about this. Now, it's like people are so open about it, they have no problem telling you. DEA contacted us right before COVID, and they were out on a training exercise in Louisiana, and they came across 3 of them. And he goes, we're wearing ghillie suits, okay? Because we go looking for drugs, and we're just, training. We're walking down the road, and we're all in ghillie suits. We have no firearm or no ammunition for our firearms because it was a train size. 3 of them came across the road. They're looking at each other, okay? These guys are all camoed up. These things don't know what these guys are. They don't know what these things are. They're growling, they're snarling, and they end up moving on. Well, they go, okay, man, we got to look this up. So they're Googling like werewolves and lookaroo and all this stuff. So they found our site. So if you type in like Dogman or werewolf keywords, it automatically goes, our site's like there on the front page. So they look on our site and they end up contacting us. They send us pictures of, of them, in their ghillie suits, ID badge, everything. Say, look, we're legit. Okay, this is what we saw. And they told us this whole story. It was interesting.
Wow.
And if you look at this real quick, guys. All right, this is the one we were just looking at. Now, this one, is it moving? I mean, it's almost like
it's shaking, or it looks like it's shaking,
right,
or something. So
and you see it take a
look how
step
far
forward.
And it seems as if the neck is almost like, or the head is far in front of the body.
Yeah.
But that might be just the way that is. That's crazy.
Yeah. Now there's another one where it's coming from the back of the truck. I think I sent you. Did I send you the last one?
It's probably slowly coming in, but I'll get it. Yes.
Yeah. But
no, I only got 2 right now. I did not. Get a third
the
one.
other one is basically it's behind the truck and it comes forward. So I did some like negatives on it, okay, on the image and stuff, to see if I can pick up anything, and I couldn't find anything, showing, is, altered in any way. These folks, I mean, we had people from MUFON that had some really good equipment. Look at it, and, they're like, I can't find anything wrong with it. What's ever in that picture there, so it's kind of unique, but it's one of these things that it's too good. I mean, it's really good image of what this thing is, and plus it came from another country. So, people are like, I don't know, it's too good, it's too good. We complain. They want to see, pictures of Bigfoot and Dogman. When you show them something, they want to sit there and complain about it.
And that's like when I looked at it and I blew it up and I made it bigger when I was looking at it over on another screen. And it's like the legs especially are very detailed in the one shot. You can really tell it's legitimately a dog's leg because it has the tendon running up the back that you can see. It's very skinny as it goes down into the far too skinny to be anyone in a costume or anything like that.
Yeah,
it's very interesting. I mean, for me to sit here and say, "Oh, this is fake," and blah blah blah, you can't. It's one of those things where either you believe it or you don't. But at the same time, you gotta respect the fact that it's not everything isn't always cut and dry. Everything isn't black and white. I mean, it's that's pretty scary there. I mean, so it boils down to, people like you are able to go out and bring this information to us, and that gives everyone an opportunity to make an educated decision about it, and for it not to be one of those things where, we're making up things as we go along, but we're able to actually have someone analyze the facts and things like that. And I want to say this right now. We got to have you back on again soon because this is just scratching the surface. I feel like there's
definitely.
Definitely. I mean,
so much.
I was going to be actually. I was going to be in my workshop doing this because I see you have a Jason mask behind you.
Oh yeah, man.
I'm a big horror film fanatic, and I make the masks. I do I have a really nice one that I've done on my own, and I mean, I got mannequins and stuff, and all this stuff done in my little workshop.
This is my autographed picture from Kane Hodder when we interviewed him about a month ago. Me and Kane Hodder right there, best buds. I believe it says right there, Mikey. You're next, Kane Hodder.
If you're really into Friday the 13th, you gotta watch the fan film.
I've watched them all.
Never Hike Alone.
I've seen Never Hike Alone, Never Hike Alone in the Snow, and I just watched the brand new one called Voorhees. That's an hour and a half long. It's okay, but the Never Hike Alone series is fantastic.
It's awesome.
Fantastic.
Yeah,
It's very good stuff.
Yeah, there's a new one coming out called Lost, which is going to be a really, really one once they get the money with their Kickstarter. But I don't think I would love to see Never Hike Alone in a regular motion picture.
Mm-hmm.
For the franchise, it would be total awesome.
When we were talking to Kane Hodder, he told us that he had just filmed a movie basically where a guy goes around emulating Jason, where he feels like he is Jason. So he's going around doing all these different kills and stuff. And he's in the movie as himself, and the guy looks for him and goes out and basically kills Kane Hodder because he was Jason in the movies. So it's a very interesting crazed fan kind of film that he was telling us that it's going to be coming out probably in next year.
Sometime soon, probably next year.
And he said he would love to play Jason again. He wants to be in number 13, and so we'll see. But huge horror fan. I love horror movies. Love them.
Yeah.
Now I got to see all the stuff in your shop.
Yeah.
To see this wall behind me, it always loves new things. So anytime you got something you think about throwing out, Bill Moseley right here from Texas Chainsaw Massacre and all the Rob Zombie movies right there. Bill Moseley. Did an interview with him. This guy.
I'm sure
next one is with Tony Todd, by the way. Tony Todd is the next interview we're going to be doing very soon. So looking to get him on. And so we love that kind of stuff. But I want to thank you for coming on, taking time out of your busy schedule to come on and talk for us for way over an hour. I really appreciate that. We're going to get you back on very soon because I feel like this is a constantly developing story. It's one of those things that is not. It's not like we're going to be out of information. This is something we need updates on. This is something we need to really delve deep into. And I feel like there's going to be a lot of questions once this goes up.
we get new stuff every day. Photographs, videos. We got this one video last year, but it's kind of unique where something is digging a grave up. And whatever this thing is, I mean, it's wicked. We have a video. The girls took it. They were sitting there having lunch, and they see this thing digging. I mean, it's this dark object. To me, it's a Dogman. Digging in this grave. So, and the people at the cemetery, when we went to interview them about it, they're like, "Man, we're not allowed." These people came in. They took the security cameras, security tape. We're not allowed to talk to it. They came in and fixed the grave and made the whole area, look like it was, nothing happened.
That was the original cover-up, literally covering up the grave.
Yeah, and girls got it on their cell phone, so it's
that's remarkable.
Yeah, it's neat.
Make sure
and I have a copy of it.
Oh, see, cliffhanger. That's what we're going to watch next time you're on. Creed, I know you've been perusing their website, so I think you're the guy to tell them again where they can find them over there at that website.
I would say that would be North American. Let me get it right. North American Dogmanproject.com. And a lot of the evidence that we just looked at and heard is on there. Very cool site. A lot of information on JOEDY and the rest of the team. Anything else you want to promote, please feel free to jump on it, too.
Yeah, you can reach us through the website. You can look for me on Facebook. The North American Dogman Project has chapters all on Facebook, New York, Ohio, just different states. But if you want to contact me about anything, feel free. My email address is OC4, B as in boy, F as in Frank, S as in Sam @hotmail.com. So if you want to send in an email, talk, please feel free.
Yeah, and also don't hesitate to report a sighting as well on the site.
Oh
so
yeah,
you can
definitely.
do that,
Yeah, don't be afraid. Definitely don't.
And if you can't get that information as quickly as we give it out to you, it's all going to be down in the description of this video.
Yes.
Just go on down there. You'll find everything you need to know, and every way you can contact these guys. I just want to thank you so much for taking so much time with us and taking all of our crazy questions. Thank you so much for coming on, man.
Hey,
thank you, JOEDY.
Appreciate it. I just sent you the video, so if you want to share it with your friends there, I wish I knew somebody that could, do video and like zoom into it, and a videographer or something like that. We haven't found one yet that was able to do that. But if you know somebody, have them.
Absolutely.
Interesting.
And we'll definitely make sure next time you're on that we share it with everyone. I'm gonna peruse this in my private time. But yeah, man, thanks so much for coming on, and we're gonna get you on again very soon. Thanks so much, man. I appreciate it.
I'm retired Army, so I'm home. So anytime.
Awesome.
Well,
thanks,
again,
man. Thank you so much, JOEDY. We appreciate it.
Take care.
Very
Have
cool.
a good one.
Thanks, JOEDY.
All right, take
JOEDY Cook.
All right.
Absolutely.
That was awesome.
And how awesome is that? I mean, these things are so amazing to me. I'm always intrigued, and we talk about this kind of stuff off the air. So I mean, it's not like we just do it for the air. We're interested about it and talk about it in our own personal lives. So I hope everyone enjoyed it, believer, non-believer, whatever you might be. I hope you at least enjoyed it.
Well, I know I did, and getting a little more info on that was very cool. Yeah, that's Sale. He's a big boy. He's a big boy.
Big
Sale or Sal?
Salem. I call him Sal or Bubba or Sally. Yeah, lots of different names for him. Hey, Bubba. Well, again, thank you so much to him. And by the way, that website actually is pretty cool. That one that he had sent to you, that was one that I was looking at under the evidence. I was like, wow. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Pretty neat.
Everyone remembers the Bubba witch trials.
Yes. So frightening, so scary. The only thing scarier than that is tomorrow night, Wednesday, the Creedence and Bishop show. The actual show where you enjoy all of your favorite things. News, gatherings of witches. Maybe there's even a knock sighting.
Doubtful.
No.
I mean, not in our group chat, not one even look at
What's
it.
up, Jude?
I think that whatever Bishop did last week, he pissed him off.
Good job, Bishop.
That's it.
Good
Yeah,
job.
great job. All you, Bishop. All you.
Great job, dude.
I can't believe you just said his name.
Speak his name. Speak his name.
See you tomorrow night, 8:30. You guys have a great night.
Thank you, JOEDY.
Joe D.
North American Dogman Project.